Very exciting day today with ticker symbol COSM for Cosmos Holding as it surged another 100% today. Now it retraced all the way back to a similar level to where we began the day at the first place. So what does this mean for price action for COSM? Well, let's go ahead and find out in this video. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with a COSM, Cosmos Holdings thread of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community on Discord called ARCa. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Okay, so we are looking at Cosmos on the 4-hour chart right over here, and as you can see, we have made a massive move to the upside, touching about 66 cents before retracing back to where we pretty much started. Now, this upsurge actually surpassed a couple levels that we were looking at per our last video of analysis, and but we were expecting a pullback. Now that let's go ahead and pull up those signals here. So as you can see, we actually used the 1.618 as a form of resistance right over here. So we actually surpassed it just a little bit and came back down. Now the present moment, we actually closed this 4-hour candle as a bullish hammer. It is at the bottom of a downtrend, which usually signals a potential continuation to the upside. Another thing to note here is that we're well within the golden pocket, which is usually located between the 0.382 at 28.93 and the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio at about 35 cents. We are well within this golden pocket, so it is still trading in a geometrical it's a sense. So now what can happen though? So we can see here that we're using our Fibonacci's as a support. I'm going to be entirely frank with you guys, I still see a massive upside. And this is a very special video. And the reason why I can tell you this is because we're going to be comparing COSM squeeze to AMC's run up. Now, AMC did have a couple closing of short positions. It was more of a gamma squeeze than anything else in the January run up for AMC. It actually happened due to options in the money option contracts running in the money, thus increasing implied volatility percentage, thus increasing the gamma Greek within the options contract. So that created a gamma ramp, and that's how it ran up. But let's go ahead and take a look at the swings, because there is a lot of emotion happening within the Discord community and also within Twitter and everywhere else. Know that these pullbacks happen. These are technical pullbacks. We have to do it because this is pretty much a day trader's dream. Okay, but what we're actually doing in the play in the Discord, what we're actually doing here is actually setting ourselves up for the squeeze, for the run to the top. We can scalp this all day, but the thing is that, I'm not really I tend not to scalp. I tend to do short-term trades, sometimes day trades, sometimes swing trades. But we are presented with an awesome opportunity to gain a great entry here. Since we missed our 15 and 8 cents level, we can be presented here on this pullback, or we can gain entry in this pullback here and continue to the upside. Please know that I'm not a financial advisor. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as a form of entertainment. I can't actually suggest for you to buy or sell any assets. So I need you to do your own DD and we will be okay. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into AMC real fast and take a look at what we have here. This is the January run up here, and this is the run up that we had near the June. In June. So let's pull up some percentages here just so you can see how these swings can happen. Okay, so this is important. Please pay attention so that we can be able to gain an understanding. So from this bottom level, we're looking at about $1.18. You can see the values over here. You can see the low at 118, right? From this 118, we're looking at the 12-hour chart, by the way. A few days later, we actually ran up 83% to the upside to this level here before finding a pullback in which we lost 21.56%. Excuse me. Now, this was over the course of a few days. So as you can see right here, this is down here. You can see the dates. So that's January 19th, and you're looking at a continuation to the upside by about January 22nd. Okay. Now, The run from this, you can see this candle had massive volatility. The wick low came all the way back down to the similar level of the 21.56% loss. The next run up was the interesting one that everyone talks about, right? That was a 1,240 spot, 96% run to the upside. Now, the next day, literally the next day, we actually faced a sell-off and a pullback that eventually just led us back from 1,240 upside to 240. So it lost 1,000% on just the next day to this level. Okay, but if you remember correctly now, you fast forward a few weeks, and then from this level, it rocket shipped all the way to that high that everybody talks about. We're looking at, I mean, it shows it different just because it's a freaking logarithmic chart. But let's go ahead and just measure what that was in total. So from up here to that point up there, right? So let's go ahead and just move that to the upside. You're looking at about a 3,600% move to the upside. So you're gonna see swings that are massively challenging and you're gonna feel emotionally drained. Okay, but that's a thing that we have to remember to keep away from the trade. And you can't tell me that we're gonna go to 66 cents today and then that was the covering of all 600% short interest. So the short interest is actually the percentage implied based on how many loans are out on share versus how many are outstanding as well. So that's a metric that's, I mean, 600%, you guys, come on. This was not the covering of 600%. Okay, so yeah, now like we were talking about, we have a bullish hammer printed on the 4-hour candle. It is a shorter term time frame, but it is still weighted. I can definitely give this some weight for the upside, okay? You can see here that the SMA 10 served as a support for us to continue to the upside, and you can also see the 7-day exponential moving average is now serving as a support alongside being in the golden pocket. Between the knot 382 and the knot 618. Now let's move on to the RSI profile. Yesterday, in yesterday's analysis, we mentioned that in the closing of today's 12-hour candle, we could potentially confirm yet another drive of bullish divergence in a higher term time frame, which is usually where you want to see these divergences pan out. So now take a look at the cursor line versus the red line and see that we are making a slight lower high, while the RSI made its higher high. Okay, so this now gives us another bullish drive. Okay, so this is very good. And also, since we have all of these other drives, these can also be applied into what the price action is doing right now. So everything is playing out pretty good. Okay, now let's go ahead and open up a multi-pane here so we can see immediate short-term time frame bias for direction. All right, so let's go ahead and just maximize all of these RSI panes here and just bring them back a little bit, because I'm going to actually bring up that image that I keep on mentioning for you guys so that you don't get lost in translation when I'm speaking of particular zones. So this is the RSI profile. These are the 1, 2, 3, and 4 zones right over here for you to take a look at. New viewers, new listeners, right? Okay, so we're going to be looking at the 30-minute immediate short term. Let's make this one here the bi-hourly. This one's going to be a 6-hour, and the last one, since we already saw the 12-hour, we're going to make it a daily. Okay, so now the 30-minute immediate short term is suggesting a continuation to the upside. Now it is very much in the deep areas of the bull weakness percentile. When we're in these deep areas here, we're likely to be gravitationally pulled into the bull strength percentile. Okay, now we are below the moving average, which is a bit bearish, but it was actually expected for us to do that. We did draw these lines, these trend lines right over here yesterday to, kind of let us know that we are facing a potential pullback soon, in which we actually did. Now the pullback happened just a little further than the one spot 618 that we were talking about right over here. This one right here, when we moved all the way to 66 cents, instead of retracing from about 59 cents, which is usually the case. In this case, we actually surpassed the one spot 618 and then used it as a form form of resistance. This created a sense of a fake out. So some people, including we actually did some scaling up per position in case this continued to go up to the upside. I did get stopped out on one of those scale ups, but I was able to manage to get our third and last entry point at 3170 based on the play on the Discord members. I'm sorry, in the Discord channel. Okay, it's the Strategies Play channel in case you are curious. Okay, so now the bi-hourly is suggesting a continuation onto the upside. The pivot is a little bit smaller, but it is still there, and it is rejecting the weakness area of the bull weakness percentile. So this is what I mean by weakness area is the shallow areas. So when we're in the shallow area, where the chances are to go into bear weakness is they're greater. Okay, so in this case, we are rejecting from it and suggesting a continuation onto the upside. Mind you, we're still below the moving average, and this is still a bit bearish, but that doesn't mean that it isn't a corrective move as we played out today and as we implied yesterday. Okay, so now the 6-hour RSI is suggesting a continuation onto the upside, and as you can see here, the moving average has been used as sort of a guide to the way up, kind of like a support, and it's pulling back to meet that moving average for a continuation up to the upside as well. Every indicator so far is looking pretty good. Now let's look at the dailies. I'm sorry, the daily, since we already saw the 12-hour daily is suggesting a slight pullback from an overbought zone. Okay, so let's look at what this can be. Let's go to the buy daily and see what that is. Okay, so the buy daily is suggesting an aggressive upside even still. So we can still see a potential upside. The next area of interest would either be the 2-spot 618 at 86.24 or the 3-spot 618 at $1.11. Please remember that Cosmos Holdings, they have to be able to hold that $1 above the $1 mark. Okay, so this is the whole point of what's happening. So I mean, the warrants are out, shorts probably started covering a little bit. This is an exchange of money right here. So you're looking at a lot of day trading activity within shorts covering, and also take profits from people who are down here at the 8-cent level, a 10-cent level, 15-cent level. Okay, so no need to panic. I do still see some upside based on the comparisons that we were making here. Massive volatility, just huge amounts of emotion happening with this. Okay, so please make sure to keep your belt strapped, and we'll just continue on the play. The play is already in play. Okay, so this is for sure the last entry that we talked about, and we are in motion. Okay, so I think this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on Twitter or Discord. The links will be in the description below. Yeah, I think that's all I got to say. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, and I will catch you at the bell on Friday for a short day of trading. Okay, you have a good night. Adios.